GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Boliga, where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 282. It is June 11th, 2017 for Michael Hinman, and I understand that my co-host accidentally just got disconnected. So, my other co-host, wonderful Ceridium, is across the table.
Kapla.
How are
I'm
you,
tired.
Mikey? Yeah.
I had a weird nightmare last night. It was RPG related, which made it even weirder.
Okay. Should I even ask?
Probably not.
Okay. It's one of those dreams.
It's one of those dreams.
Wow. Yeah, I had some funny dreams last night, too. I had a dream that my best friend, Jim, ditched me to go to this freaky clown bar. It was a really creepy clown bar. And when I walked into the clown bar and I asked where he was, they said he's through there. And so I went through the door thinking it'd be a kitchen, and really what it was a secret passage to like gay vacation heaven. It was all of this amazing resort with a whole bunch of gay men. And I thought, well, yeah, I don't blame Jim for ditching me for this. That's how I woke up laughing.
Right on. Better to wake up laughing than screaming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're still waiting on Nick. Steve, thank you for taking us live to YouTube and to Facebook.
Not a problem.
And our chat room.
And hi, everybody in the chat room. Kind of why don't we start off with what'd you do this week? You know what, Steve? Let's start off with you.
Walking, more walking, work. 18-hour shift at work.
Oh,
another 18-hour shift at work, and more walking. Basically sums it up, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, it takes a lot of time, doesn't it? 10,000 steps.
Yes, it does, especially for someone who, at maximum, did about 1,000 to 1,500 steps a day. So, yeah, huge increase, but it's for a good cause. So, still trying to hit my target of 1,000, which is what I'm hoping to raise. I'm halfway there still. So yeah,
cool. Well, we'll make sure that the link gets into the chat room as well as the show notes, as always. Again, you can support Steve in his quest to raise $1,000. Is it $1,000 or £1,000?
£1,000.
So £1,000 for cancer research, cancer cure for cancer research. And please support him. I would appreciate it very much. And Mikey, what'd you do?
I did this thing that I just dropped into the chat room. I'm waiting for it to load. There it is. So me and my nephews, we are going to play and stream various Lego games as we play together over the summer. So I think we're going to be over on Live Love Plays, Twitch, and their YouTube and stuff. But the adventures of Big Dude and Little Dude.
I love it. What a great idea.
Little Dude is my two nephews are going to take turns, and sometimes there'll be a dudette filling in the role as Little Dude. So it should be interesting. Yeah, I'm still trying to get everything set up, but I ran some initial tests of the streaming from this console, and it worked good, really well. Waiting on some hardware to be able to record voice, but yeah. So that's been going well.
Very cool. I was in Seattle this week to monitor some interesting oral arguments that took place in front of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in Seattle. Their sessions in Seattle. Normally they're in San Francisco, but they do hold sessions in Seattle. They have a lot of cases. So, got back and I had 2 whole days at work. Actually, 1.5 because I was falling asleep on Friday afternoon, so I went home and went to bed. So,
Nick's computer just died on him. I'm trying to find out if it's dead or if it's just
oh,
kind of dead.
wow. Well, okay. Do what you can. I will continue. I will continue.
Well, yeah,
Or do we need to take a break?
well, we're here.
Yeah.
Let's
Keep
try
going?
to move on.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on his conversation as well, but let's try to move on.
Okay. So, one of the things I was going to talk about this week, I received an interesting tweet. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the tweet was from, wow. It was like last week. Okay. The tweet was from somebody who follows me on Twitter, as well as XR377, whom I believe is a Stowe player and also a Foundry author. Yep, there he is. A Stowe Foundry author, freelance physicist, weary writer, new age polymath factory worker. I do not know the person's real name, but sometimes I never do. And he or she tweeted me and said, "Gee, by the way, you were mentioned in this book, as was massively the former MMORPG site for AOL, which has evolved into Massively Overpowered, which is now edited by Bree Royce, who used to be my editor at AOL. The book I got a copy of. The book is written by a sociology professor, I believe. I'm not sure, whatever, but his wonderful name is William Sims Bainbridge. He's an author of over 200 books. He's a computer developer, was a computer developer, but now he is a sociology expert on human interactions with computers. All right.
All right.
On page 202, he goes into an article that I wrote for Massively. Essentially, the book is called Freedom versus Control in Online Game Worlds, Star Worlds. It's published by University of Michigan Press. And in it, Mr. Bainbridge quotes my article regarding Foundry missions in Star Trek Online. And specifically, the period of time before the game went free to play, when there was a very long period of time of no new content. Remember that, Mikey?
Yes, that's during the time frame where a couple of my missions were spotlighted, if I remember.
In this particular case, I highlighted 10 Star Trek Online Foundry missions, to which he actually played himself, and in this book goes into each one of them. So P.F. Dennis, Allie Mack, Rachel Garrett, Kirk Fat, H-Bomb 420, Dixonium, Old Lord Skull, there you go,
I
Bazag
remember all of these people.
and Deborah Quinn had their missions played by this gentleman, and each mission has a little dissertation in it in this book. The book he goes into is human interaction with computers, specifically with 4 online game worlds: Star Trek Online, the Star Wars The Old Republic, Star Wars Galaxies, and Second Life Star Trek. It's a fascinating read, you guys. First off, it's weird to be quoted in a book that I think is used for classwork or might be used as a reference in classwork. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my coffee. But it is kind of interesting. So Baz, did you get Bazzy, my question is, did you get to read what he wrote about your mission? It was kind of interesting because he says here, Shull then recommended 10 player created missions to her readers, and they form an excellent set to describe here. By the end of 2011, I had explored 82 Federation missions that had been created by players, plus 27 on the Klingon side, but only one of my 109 missions was on her list, Return to Terra Nova, and I immediately sought her other 9 missions so they could be described here. Table 8.1 lists the 10, quoting from brief descriptions that appear in a window when a player is considering accepting one, identifying the creator by his or her game name, and providing 2 statistics about each: the number of players who had rated it as of January 16th, 2012, and their mean rating of the mission on a scale from 1 to 5. And then he goes into there's a huge table that goes into each of the missions, and then the next several pages go into a description of each of the missions as he played them. It's fascinating. So, hey, Star Trek Foundry, you mission authors, you're in a textbook, dude. I just thought it was kind of cool. Trippy, huh?
Right on.
Yeah, I will place the link. You can buy the book on Amazon, and I will place the link in the show notes. Is Nick back with us?
His dot is there, but I haven't seen or heard him try to say anything yet.
Okay. Second, let's look at some links. Oh, Mikey.
Yes?
Star Trek Timelines. Did you get an email?
Regarding the beta?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Is it a beta for what? Steam?
Yeah, they're on Steam.
Oh, okay, cool.
I clicked on the link too late. Sorry, you've done it too late.
I've got it installed, but it never loaded on Steam when I first installed it. I think it was like Thursday, the beginning of this weekend's event. And because it was the beginning of this weekend's event, I wasn't going to fiddle around with it too much, so I can focus on the event. It's the crafting event, so very time consuming.
Oh.
So I'm going to wait until tomorrow-ish before I try again.
To upload the game into Steam.
No, the game's already uploaded. It just won't load the game. It just sits there. I launch it, it goes through its process, and then it just gets stuck before it actually gets all the way in.
Huh. That's interesting.
Now, granted, at the time I was that day I was having intermittent internet issues. The internet was cutting in and out like 4 or 5 times throughout the day. So it might have been that at that particular moment. I do not know, but like I said, I wasn't going to fiddle with it at that at until next week. So
Okay. Okay. Because I got one too, and I wasn't sure if, I, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind playing through Steam. I think it might be a better avenue for me to play because my iPad just can't handle the weight.
Check.
understandable. Welcome back, Nick.
Yay! Nick is here. That was.
Fucking computer decided to take a dump.
I'm glad you're back, though.
Like it wouldn't even start back up.
Whoa. That's kind of sad. Now, are you on a different computer?
Nope. I finally got it to start back up.
Right on.
The power would come on, it would start to cycle, and then just shut off again.
Wow.
Exactly. I blame Baz.
What did you do this week?
The hell did I do? Oh, well, I had a big meeting, but that's something else.
Yeah.
Hopefully a situation that's been ongoing is going to be resolved, like, tomorrow.
Oh, I will keep my fingers crossed for you.
Yeah. So sick of it.
I bet.
It's
It's okay.
I've also been keeping count. We're now on S+11.
Yeah, I've been seeing your count up on Facebook.
Just you know, people want to be held accountable, so I'm going to hold them accountable. Which means either someone is incompetent or they lied.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I know. And what else? Anything?
Oh, I watched a movie that was out last year that I hadn't seen, but I had been told really good things of, so I decided to give it a shot, and I was very pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, okay. It's the follow-up to.
Well, very loosely.
Okay. It's
very
the JJ
loosely.
Monster movie.
Yeah, to Cloverfield. Terry, I think you would enjoy it. The first 80%, very kind of Hitchcockian psychological drama. There's no gore or anything, even minimal swearing. In the last 20%, you go, oh my god. But John Goodman is amazingly creepy in this film. Yet lovable because he's John Goodman.
Oh, I don't want creepy John Goodman.
No, not creepy. Creepy as in you're trying to figure out what's wrong with this guy.
Yeah. Wow.
And then when you find out, well, I can't say anything because it would be totally spoilerific.
Okay.
It's just, in this movie... Oh no, see, that would give something away too. No. I like a movie that really you go, yeah, but no, I can't say that because that would spoil.
Yeah, pretty good. Did you? I know you were dealing with your computer issues, Mike. Mikey got to talk a little bit about his new project, Big Dude, Little Dude. Did you hear about this?
Yes.
I am so excited. I think it's great. Also, we do have some bad news, although I think most everybody in our chat room probably already knows. But if they didn't, this actually yesterday, we lost Adam West, the original Batman. Our love, condolences, and sympathy to all of his friends and family. And I saw a couple of really wonderful visual what's the word? I just went in my head and right out.
Tributes.
Thank you, Mike. To him. One was the commissioner turning off the bat signal. Oh my god. Oh, it really made me sad.
The last thing I
And
saw him in was Big Bang Theory.
yeah.
Oh
And
yeah, for the birthday party.
It was so good.
and then the second one was Dayton Ward had posted it, which was Batman was climbing the wall using the rope up to the clouds, which I thought was perfect. I just thought that one was perfect.
Well, you know what really chops my sticks?
What?
You know, he had a problem after Batman with being typecast.
Yeah.
And here's my problem. I despise, and it still goes on today, the mogul mentality of, well, the people will only accept him in this role. Really, you don't say that about Chris Pine. You don't.
And here's
It's like certain actors, they decide we are going to say that they will only be accepted in this role. But others, I mean, a great example, Will Ferrell. He can do so much more than the
oh,
retarded
of course. Yeah.
white older guy. He does that extremely well. Don't get me wrong. Yes, people, I said retarded because Step Brothers, you can't convince me that they weren't. But you know, you look at what it took for Bill Murray to break out of just the funny guy.
Well, and that also started with the fact that that's what happens to a lot of Saturday Night Live alum who try to break away into films. They get
Remember,
typecast into comedic
remember
roles.
what happened to Belushi with Continental Divide?
Oh my God! Oh,
They
you
tried
know
to
what?
make a Tracy Hepburn type movie.
It was a bad movie. I
Yeah,
saw
but
it.
he wasn't bad in it.
No, I mean, and neither was
Blair
I mean,
Brown.
yeah, it was a sweet film, but he wasn't right for the role. He
But
really wasn't.
and that one was on the public because they decided we only want to see him as Bluto. You know, you can help yourself.
That's right.
If you have a favorite actor, you can help yourself by getting more of that actor in ways you never imagined by giving them a shot in something different. Um, Jim Carrey in The Truman Show, great example. Fantastic in that. And the people
What was
loved
the
him.
other one? Oh my God.
Eternal Sunshine of the
Oh
Spotless
my
Mind.
God, what a movie that is. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's not a comedy in any sense of the imagination. But, you know, it just, it makes me sad because guys like Adam West or, you know, Shatner.
Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
Look at what he had to deal with. And, you know, he was also somebody who had a lot of different roles before Star Trek.
Well,
But
thankfully
because
for
he
him,
became so popular as that one character.
thankfully he had things like Mission Impossible.
Yes. And I, of course, loved him in that.
But
I
you know
still,
what's really sad is when you look at like commercials from the 70s, what are especially Nimoy and Shatner doing? Everything somehow winds up with a Vulcan salute in it.
after
Because
that, yeah.
because the advertisers didn't they thought that, you know,
Well, the advertisers wanted to take advantage of that fame. They wanted
yeah.
to take advantage of that specific character. That's why the advertisers went for it. And why do casting, and that's really what it is, why do casting directors refuse to choose somebody? If somebody is already so strongly associated with a character like Leonard Nimoy or Adam West, especially in the 60s, 70s, and even 80s, especially in the 80s, you didn't want to bring somebody like that in because you would take let's face it, you bring Leonard Nimoy in and the casting directors, I don't want to bring Spock into this. They'll take the the audience out of my show. So the casting director totally avoids people like that because the directors and the writers of the show that they're working for
Do you
want
think
to keep
it's
that in there. Do I
do
think
you
it's
think
fair?
it's
I think
far
it
less
sucks.
of a problem now than it was, say, in the 60s, 70s, or even 80s?
No, I still think there's a big problem with it.
With
Um,
typecasting?
oh yeah, I
Who
really do.
who
I think
who falls into that now? Because I'm thinking that be, like I'm looking at Chris Pine.
I'm thinking how many people in Friends get a lot of work in dramatic roles or non-stereotypical roles that they played in Friends.
Well, Courtney Cox had a couple of series, but she had that one series for a long time.
Yeah, and the
Matthew
one with
Perry,
all the wine drinking women. Yeah,
yeah. A lot of them are doing producing and directing
producing
stuff now.
director. There's some, and one of them does voiceover work, but Matt LeBlanc,
He's
he
got a
can't.
TV show right now.
Yeah, but it's not doing well.
I don't know. It got
The
renewed.
show kind of sucks.
Well,
Show kind
here's
of
something
sucks.
funny. Here's something funny. Tim Allen has this show, Last Man Standing, and I saw an
Mm.
ad for it. And I'll admit, on the ad, um, there was a line that made me laugh out loud because I guess it's his daughter. I don't know. I've never seen the show. She says something like, "Oh, this is the worst. I'm living in hell," or something like that. And he says, "Yeah, running water, central air, all the food you can eat. It's a regular African diamond mine in here." And it's a funny line, and but you know what I thought? Oh, they wrote a more bitter Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Yep, that's exactly it.
And but thankfully we also get the oh, by the way, Nancy Travis is in that series. She looks better than ever. That woman does not age. I don't understand it. Um,
The
Thankfully we get people like oh shit, what was it? I just had it. It was on the tip of my tongue, and then I interrupted myself. Um, well, John Goodman's a good example of somebody who's done a whole lot of different stuff.
and I think a lot of that also has to do with crossover between television and film. Kojiro Vance put in the chat room, he says, I think it's a recent trend that casting directors cast against type.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I think it really does come down to, Chris Pine, why does he get away with it? Because he's not on television.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it is the weekly, or in some cases daily, um, when you're seeing it's that burn into the head. That's why Al Pacino wasn't typecast as a mobster.
Um, Jonathan Frakes, he knew he was never gonna, he knew he was never really gonna get over Riker, right?
And that's an interesting thing. I did not know until I did some research. Robert Beltran, in almost every movie and stuff he did, always played the mobster or the heavy.
Yeah.
And Voyager actually helped break him out of that.
But almost to the detriment that now he can't get another role, or he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a lot of acting, right? There's a lot of there are actors like Sir Patrick Stewart who can overcome.
Yeah.
But he didn't for a long period of time. It wasn't until
Stewart did theater to kind of like get it out of his system, and
exactly.
Then,
he was
then
able to do
return
theater
to film rather than straight to television.
Right. So he was able to do theater. He was able to kind of reestablish himself in Shakespearean, which is what he's always done, and then came back out
And then
to
he did
film.
that Moby Dick.
Yeah. And the Christmas Carol. And was able to get himself into film. And that's when X-Men gave him yet another iconic character. And not unlike Sir Ian McKellen, right? These two big English actors that play these enormous Shakespearean roles, that and they can overcome that, and they're able to do that. It also allowed for him to be able to take on those very unique biting,
He also
smaller roles.
He also does a lot of voiceover work with Seth MacFarlane,
Oh yeah, he
which
does a lot of.
presents a whole different side of himself.
Hey, when you're playing the shit emoji, you can advertise it as such. You've come a long way from being stereotyped
Well,
or
also he
typecast.
plays the what is it, the head of the CIA or whatever on American Dad.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think there's a difference between TV and film because Jesus,
frequency.
You're just tired.
Frequency. Also, people jump back and forth between genre. In film, Chris Pine can do a romantic comedy and then do, he's going to be doing a stint as a Hannibal Lecter type character on an Angie Tribeca. I can't wait to see that. But,
Chris Pine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kujiro once again says, honestly, some audience members do have a problem separating character from actor. Yes, they do. And casting directors know it. So if
that's
I think if you end up with a really popular character, that transcends or becomes huge, like
do you think that
what's his face in Big Bang Theory?
I was just going to say him. Do you think that the guy that plays Sheldon is ever going to be able to break out of being Sheldon?
I think he has the ability to. One, he has a really smart casting director, or a really smart agent. And the agent already has him playing other roles in very serious. I think he was in Hidden Figures.
He was great in the Muppets.
Yeah, he was. But when it comes to television, he's always going to have that quirky presentation. So unless he finds another role in television that allows him a much more straight, I think he's gonna get Sheldon type. He's gonna get Sheldon cast. You know what I mean?
Now, there's a couple of actors that I think are destined to be typecast because I think it's impossible for them to get separated from their characters, and that is Groot and Rocket Raccoon.
The advantage of being animated, right?
Go sit in the corner, Mike.
It's a disadvantage. You're
now, you know what's funny is I don't think at first when Big Bang started, Johnny Galecki I knew real well from Roseanne, and I thought, oh, that's David, but first of all, I think it's really a shame that he's never won an Emmy for his part of Big Bang because he's
hilarious.
It's the straight man that gets overlooked.
Yeah.
Sheldon but Johnny Galecki sets all of those up so perfectly. I think he'll be okay. I think Kaylee Kawako will be okay. Because America just loves her.
Yeah. She's also done other things before. She was in Charmed as well for the final season of that.
And she was in that show with John Ritter. That was when he died. She was one of the daughters on that show.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that. I didn't. Yeah. I never watched it, to be honest with you.
But, there's a guy, John Ritter.
Right?
He became Jack Tripper.
Yeah. Couldn't shake it.
And John Ritter was just fantastic. That's why when he showed up on Buffy, when I did my Buffy rewatch, and was just an asshole, I had goose pimples because it was like, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Is when it comes to Jim Parsons,
thank you. 8 simple rules.
I wonder if Jim Parsons is helping himself because for the next bit for Big Bang, there's a prequel coming for him as a child, but he's doing voiceover for it. So I'm just wondering, he won't be branching himself out. He'll still be Sheldon.
Not too much, but I think that he has also he also has the ability to break out into and already has established himself as a fantastic actor in other medium as well.
Well,
television. Go ahead.
Doing voiceover is different than appearing in a show every week. For one thing, you don't have to memorize your lines. You've got the script right in front of you, so it actually gives him more time to do other things than just work on this one show. So yeah, he's doing voiceover for it, but that doesn't mean that he's also not working on 3 other
yeah,
projects
right.
at the same time.
Yeah. And again, I think he has the ability because he's already established himself as an actor in other medium and in film, and able to take on, some
Is Trek
pretty
the worst example of people of a cast being stuck in
yeah.
typecasting?
I think that's what the problem was with casting the films. Remember how several years ago in 2009 when this movie was coming out and the casting was coming out, and then there's still a big brouhaha about the cast not coming to the conventions, and you wonder why. It's because Star Trek fans are some of the worst when it comes to possession, this supposed possession of the characters and the actors who play them. So actors are going to actively avoid doing things like that to keep from getting trapped in that typecast situation. Nobody
And
wants to. I mean, look at Zachary Quinto. How much has he done since?
I don't really watch him as much, but maybe it's because he's not out there. Because I knew him from Heroes.
But who's casting him?
Yeah.
There's our problem, right?
But
He's the new
is he
Spock.
involved in other things? That's my question. Because sometimes they're involved in more production stuff.
Yeah, and I do know that Zachary does other work, and he did a couple of really amazing TV shows or TV films.
But do you think that
you don't think that he's facing typecasting problems? I don't think that.
I don't
there's
think
a lot of
so.
casting directors out there who want to go, oh, look, we're going to cast Spock. That's really
but why
what's
would they
going on.
do that with him, but not with Chris Pine or Zoe
Oddly
Salanda?
enough, it's the ears.
You think so?
I think there is. I think Chris Pine. No, and here's also the other thing. There's a couple of different there's like 3 different kinds of actors, right? There's the unique actors, the ones who have a unique look, the ones that have a unique something about them
Steve
that causes Steve
Buscemi.
It's Steve Buscemi, Zachary Quinto. People who can take on either a or there's a physical characteristic about them that puts them into a certain avenue of, oh, he's quirky, we can put him in that. Then there's the everyman, somebody who's not a chameleon, but somebody who's the same kind of guy in everything he does. He's consistently good. Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris
and
Pine,
all
Paul
of the Chris's.
Rudd.
All of the Chris's. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine, all of the Chris's. They're
Chris Evans,
Pratt.
yeah.
They're the sweet kind of edgy white guy. You can pluck them in. You can take every one of those actors, and I hate to say it, but you could pretty much take every one of those actors, throw them into each other's roles, and they'd still do fine. Right? Yeah. And then you've got the chameleons.
They're actually played by the same guy. We just special effects.
And then you've got the chameleons, the actor who can be something absolutely unique in every single thing they do. And
that's
Gary fucking Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman's 1970s and 80s De Niro, not De Niro now. If people are thinking of De Niro now, you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't seen his older stuff. There is a reason why he was considered the greatest actor for a long time.
And for me, Gary Oldman is the ultimate chameleon.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman was that way.
Yeah.
A chameleon.
Gary Oldman, a lot of times I forget his name. I know who he is, and I'm like watching him, but it's like, oh, what's his name?
You know who else is a fucking chameleon? Fucking Tom Hardy.
Oh,
I don't even know what the guy
doubt.
looks like in real life. I really don't.
Oh, he's so great on that show that I told you that we were. Oh shit! What's the name of it that Mel and I are just head over heels for? It was just on last year. Taboo. Yeah, thank you. Zoe Salanda's like that. She's
Oh, Zoe Saldana, yeah.
Saldana, sorry. She's like that.
To a degree, she's a great action actress. She really is.
Yes.
And she also, as
she's
you can
like
imagine,
Rodriguez. What's her
right,
name?
didn't want to get typecast as Uhura.
Right.
So you take on roles that are completely opposite of that. But now she's Gamora, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you think what helps this cast is the time between movies is so long that it actually helps them?
I would hope so, but I don't know. I mean,
Because, like, I remember.
Johansson is another is she gonna be even though she's had other roles, right? They're all the same kind of role. It's this action figure assassin woman, Gamora, Black Widow,
But what's funny is I always
are
think
they
of her
gonna be able to get that serious role again?
I
Go ahead.
don't think of her as either one of as Black Widow or as Natasha or anything. My first thought of her is always Lost in Translation.
God, I love that film. Oh my God, I
It's
love that
always. But the um in I was saying about the length of time between the Trek movies now. Um, I the late Anton Yelchin. I saw him on an episode. It was like Criminal Minds or Law and Order. It was one of those cop procedurals like that where he played a killer, and it was so stone cold, terrifying. He was creepy as shit on it, and I was so
Yeah.
glad when I saw that.
Again, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they started off as movie
And he was
as
young
movies
too.
as
He was
movie
so
characters
young.
as opposed to television characters. I think television actors have, because their characters are in front of the audience longer and more consistently, there's a deeper connection between character and audience.
Now, do you
Then
think that the so many of the actors now are actually going to television? It used to be television was the stepchild, but now television is the place to be. So do you
that's
think
because
maybe,
there's work.
well, that and the quality is so high. I mean, there's
I
Yeah, there's
if
think
you
more.
look at what's
Go
coming
ahead,
out
Mike.
in the movie theater, television writing is way surpassed film writing in
Yeah.
quality.
Mike, you're gonna
I
say
think that the risk of typecast on television is reduced now than it was years ago, and the one of the big reasons for that is because of the length of the average television show.
Oh, that's a great point.
Before, I mean, half a year you're seeing, before, several years ago, for half a year you're seeing the same character played by the same actor
Yeah, 20 some
for
episodes
half a
versus 10.
year at a
Yeah.
time. And if you go back even further, it was when they did the summer reruns.
Mhm.
You had that actor was in your face for a full year at a time.
That's a great point, Mike, because now instead of the summer reruns, they have new series
New
that are only
series
for
that take the
10
right.
to 12 weeks.
And now
Exactly.
you have 13 episode seasons and a year and a half sometimes
Yeah.
between seasons. So it kind of it allows you to disconnect that actor from that role. It allows the viewer to kind of step back and make that disassociation, whereas before it was ingrained. You're constantly having that reinforced. Now it's not that easy to reinforce it over and over
That's
again.
a really good point. Length of season now is a great point.
I think Ross had a question in the chat room, and that is, so do you think the Discovery crew is at risk for being typecast after the show? I think it depends on the character, to be honest with you.
And I think Possibly, I'm going to say a tentative no because it's on a streaming service.
Yeah, it's on a streaming service, but it's also going to be released weekly, which prolongs the exposure
Right, but
to.
I think I don't think you're seeing that problem with people like on a series like, even though it's on HBO, Game of Thrones, or people from Orange is the New Black. I think there's still enough of a weird firewall, if that makes
Maybe.
sense.
Yeah. Although, let's face it,
And I think
Kate Mulgrew is a perfect example of somebody who kind of fought to get out of the typecast, and look what she did to jump into Red.
I
yeah,
love Red.
but I think Mike brings up a good point too. If it's not being repeated during the summer, I think
It's
that
not in
was
front of the
kind of the
faces. Yeah.
drilling it into and with a streaming show, and again we can point to Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory's in syndication, so
It's
now
on every day.
it's on every day.
It's on
Which
4
Star Trek,
times, 2 different channels, 2 different times. 4
yeah,
times a day.
with a show from a streaming service, you don't have that. You have to go purposely rewatch it. It's not like you're flipping through the channels and like, oh, MASH is on again. I mean, Mike Farrell, great example. Or what's his name that played Frank Burns? Gary Berghoff is a perfect example.
Yeah, he couldn't get out of Radar,
No,
right?
no, Jamie
He
Farr
was
couldn't
always
get out of
Radar.
Klinger.
And it's but that's the thing. To me, it's the quirky characters, right? Alan Alda had no problem. He was the lead, but he was also kind of like a regular Joe. If you're a quirky character, i.e., Radar,
Klinger.
or Klinger, or you've got it's a quirky character, it's a lot easier for you to be typecast because you've got that quirky look.
And
right?
Harry Morgan had such a long career before
Oh, yeah.
that. I mean, he was actually typecast after Dragnet.
Yeah, I believe it. And again, that quirky character kind of thing, somebody who's got something that's so unique that it kind of is a signature. If you become a signature, then you become the
Like
signature. It's
Steve
hard.
Buscemi.
Like Steve Buscemi. How many non-mob roles does he play?
Or just, an actor of unbelievable talent, John Malkovich, but he's always cast as a psycho villain.
It's true.
Which he
It's
does
true.
amazingly.
It is true.
He does But, all right, here's an actor
And that's why De Niro
Mhm.
was as much as he was an amazing actor, I don't see him as being all that chameleon. Like, he always played the thug. He always played like the really crazy fucking thug. Now, especially after Midnight Run, it was like, oh my God, what do you mean he can do comedy? It was awesome.
Well, hold on. Boy, I'm having it's been a week.
I know.
I'm very worried about my wife, but that's something else altogether.
Yeah.
You mentioned De Niro, Buscemi. Oh, I know. An actor who the name of him sometimes makes people's skin crawl, but that's okay. Tom Cruise used to be able to slide into so many different types of roles, but he's also like Robert Downey Jr. He's always Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But, and I'm not even making a joke about this, there's a certain thing they do in every Tom Cruise movie. Him running. The big running scene. And you know what movie? I was trying to think the other day of a movie where it doesn't have that, and the only one I could think of was A Few Good Men. And I'm talking like not like early.
Oh my God, I'm even thinking, are Eyes Wide Shut? Is there one in that one too? There might be.
I think there was, and I loved that movie. That movie got savage, but I loved it.
You know what? I didn't hate it.
I loved it.
I was perplexed by it, but it was good.
It had such a different feel and tone from so many other films, and plus the music in it. Yeah, and the music in it was amazing.
But I think there was one in that one too, though.
I think there was. I'm not sure. But yeah, so A Few Good Men is like the only one I can think of. And because there wasn't enough space in the apartment or in the courtroom. But yeah,
Oh man.
I think Trek actors definitely. Has Deep Space Nine's cast had that problem?
Well, here's a good question. How much work? Well, here's the thing. Okay, Alexander Siddig didn't have a whole lot of work until most recently when he and it's going to sound funny, when he grew a little gray hair. He grew a little gray hair, he started getting work cuz the man is fucking handsome.
He was phenomenal on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And he does a lot of different films.
And Terry Farrell kind of withdrew from acting, didn't she?
She
No, she did
did.
that
She did.
sitcom. She did that sitcom with Ted Danson.
Yeah, but that was just recently. But she
No,
actually
that
talks
was
about.
right after Deep Space Nine.
No, there
Yeah.
was a big period of There was a big period of time,
No.
hon, between. Yeah, that Ted Danson role wasn't that long ago.
Terry, I think you're confusing.
No, I might be. I don't know. I know that she took some time off to be with her kids and teach yoga.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Becker was from Deep Space Nine was 93 to 99. She died in the 98 season. She did Becker from 98 to 2002.
Okay. Cool. And then she hasn't.
She's only done
That's right.
1, 2, 3, 4 things. She did a bunch of stuff in 2002, one thing in 2003, and then Renegades in 2017.
And yeah. And
No, Baz, she did not leave DS9
she
for
did.
Becker.
Well, pretty much.
No, they wrote her out of the show.
They wrote her out because she
And
wanted
then
more
she did
money, and then
Becker.
she found Becker as a replacement job. Is really what it was.
I thought she said in an interview that she left because she couldn't handle all the early mornings and late nights. It was just getting too much for her.
Yeah, exactly. That was part
And
of it.
Avery
Actually,
Brooks
it was.
has done a lot of music
there was
and
a
stuff,
lot more
right?
to it than that.
Oh, I just saw Jake Sisko in something.
Oh, Surrock?
Yeah.
Well, that'll be nice to see because I know that he's been, not getting a whole lot of work. I know that Aaron Eisenberg, talk about somebody who got typecast as Nob.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the other opposite to that, Armin Shimmerman.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
Who takes his quirkiness and plugs it into different roles. He is a very quirky looking man. He's an outstanding actor and he can take on any role. And
he plays the asshole really well.
And he plays a really, really good asshole. And he kind of gets typecast as the asshole, right?
Yeah. It's what happened on Buffy.
Yep. But there hasn't been a whole lot of other work. Now,
Colm Meaney can play the everyman. I mean, he was
Colm
so
Meaney
good in
has
The Commitments.
Well, and here's the thing. Colm Meaney was an already established UK actor, an Irish actor, before he even started Star Trek. He already had a boatload of shit under his belt. So even if he disappeared from the United States, he still would have had tons of work in the UK.
Oh, he went on to doing Stargate, didn't he?
Yeah, and God, that talk about Hugh Grant movie, The Man Who Went Up the Hill and Came Down a Mountain.
I've never even heard of that.
What?
I haven't heard of that film either.
Never heard of it.
Hugh Grant was
one of the... went up the hill and came down a mountain.
I have never even heard of that.
It is probably one of my favorite films ever. I love that movie.
Hugh Grant basically played the same character in everything he appeared in until he was in Love Actually. But then when the film after that, which was about a boy especially, that was the first time he really sort of shone as an actor to me.
Is he more famous as an actor though, or the controversy, the whole thing?
Depends on when you were born.
Oh, that's a great point. Now, you know what? That's a great point.
All right, there we go. The Englishman who went up a hill but came down a mountain.
Never heard of it. What
I've
year is
seen it.
that?
1995.
Oh, I was in Bosnia.
I was getting ready for my GCSEs.
It's a great film, you guys. If you do get a chance to see it, do. It's really sweet. It's very funny. It's about a town, a little town that has a hill that and Hugh Grant plays the scientist who's there to measure it because there's a if it's a hill,
Controversy around the size,
the
whether
size of the hill, and if
the
the hill is
locals call
Go ahead.
it, I think believed it was
mountain something or other.
yeah, and because of its size, people were also referring to it as a hill or
Right,
something or other.
cartographers had to name it a hill, but the local townspeople believed it to
Let
be a
'em out.
mountain, and there
Yeah.
was like a 10-foot difference between hill and mountain,
Yeah.
and so the entire town comes together to raise the mountain height. It's hilarious. It's really
You can't handle the truth.
It's a really sweet film, but Cole Meany is in it. He plays like the innkeeper bartender, and it's fucking hilarious. He's awesome. I like films like that. The nice little, character-driven stories.
Oh, yeah. And Terry, I think, wow, getting back to something I said earlier, I think you would like 10 Cloverfield Lane because it's very, very character-driven.
Stress. If it gives me heart
No,
attacks,
it's
that would
not.
not be good.
No,
Okay,
it's
good.
not. It's more of a Hitchcockian. The first 80% is very Hitchcockian.
Cool.
You're trying to figure out. Well, Mike, wouldn't you agree? You're trying to figure out what the true story is.
Is it as obvious as it seems it is?
Yeah, could it be that simple, or is there some? Is he doing this for some other reason, or is it both?
Huh. Good night,
It's very
Bazzy. Thanks for
Hitchcockian.
listening. Have a good
Night,
sleep.
Baz.
Well, it's it is something that I think Star Trek actors in particular have to watch out for. I mean, even Star Wars characters did, right?
Oh,
I
Mark
mean,
Hamill certainly did.
yeah, absolutely. And as such an iconic role. What?
Earlier, I had posed a couple questions in the chat room, and one of them was that I thought that voice actors were probably immune to typecasting, but then again, because you guys had mentioned Mark Hamill, he's been pretty much typecast as Joker because of his role as Joker in some of the animated Batman series. So yeah, that kind of squashes that idea that I had.
Well,
but is that because people know it's Mark Hamill, and so that's he whether or not he was Luke Skywalker or whatever, he's still that name Mark Hamill is a I don't want to say a brand name, but it's a name that's in the genre and in the geek community has a lot of cachet. So, is that part of the reason why too?
or is it that the voice he created is again so iconic,
So iconic.
that you can't really he's it is the Joker. That is the Joker.
For a lot of people, their Batman is Kevin Conroy.
Oh, yeah, I can see that or hear that. I can understand that very well. And going back to what kind of triggered this whole conversation off was Adam West. Adam West, even his voice was Batman for a whole generation. And he couldn't
Because he
take
had
that.
such a distinctive voice.
Yeah, very much so.
It was so elegant, his voice. And he was such a his diction was so proper that he was made for voiceover work. He really was.
But his voice was also so distinctive that you knew who it was.
Right, like Patrick Stewart's.
Exactly.
Interesting how Adam
And
West
that's
led
the
us to
thing. Is
Trek
Patrick
typecasting.
Stewart and Seth MacFarlane uses Patrick Stewart because he's Patrick Stewart. And he
because
uses
he's
his
such a
voice because
fanboy.
it's Patrick Stewart. And Seth MacFarlane doesn't care if
No.
the audience knows it's Patrick Stewart.
And Patrick Stewart doesn't care how stupid the characters are that Seth MacFarlane writes for him because of he's
He
got
used
such
to
a
care.
wonderful sense of humor. Oh, he did care, 30 years ago. But I think the best thing that may have happened to him as an actor was Star Trek because he's even said it allowed him to take himself far less seriously.
And in doing so, got a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that's true.
And that was because the cast used to give him such a hard time.
Yeah, I know, and it's talk about another set of actors that you think about whether or not they're getting work. Is it because they were typecast? I mean, Michael Dorn. Let's face it. He talk about an iconic role, dude. He's Worf.
Yeah, over 2 series and several movies.
And but he also has an iconic voice.
Yes.
And he does a lot of voiceover work. But I have to say, he kind of in my brain, he kind of got typecast as I Am Weasel. Have you guys heard I Am Weasel? His I Am Weasel. See, for me, he'll always be, in voice wise, he'll always be I Am Weasel. And if you don't know what that is, then you weren't a Cartoon Network fan. But he has that ability he has that big, deep, rich voice, and he can do a lot of voiceover work for that. But to be honest with you, outside of Star Trek, has he done a lot of, he's done some guest star roles.
I can't think of any.
And we know that it took, oh my God, it took,
it's funny is Brent Spiner came to attention because of a character on Night Court. A totally comedic character is what broke him through. And I'm ready for the angry emails or whatever. I think not. I think playing Data is the best for him because I tend to think he way overacts and chews scenery worse than Shatner when he's trying to emote.
Oh, Spiner?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's got...
That's just me. And I know that would upset a lot of people, but that's just...
Fresh Hell was hilarious. But, if you guys hadn't seen it, Brent Spiner did a web series called Fresh Hell.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about it.
It was hilarious. It was very, very funny. But it was also very Brent Spiner, and he played himself. So you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Think of Larry David and
exactly.
Not Arrested Development.
Very,
but,
very much like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, look how long it took for Denise Crosby to get another role.
Well, she did. Was Pet Sematary before or after Trek?
After, I think.
No, I don't.
I think. I don't remember. It was probably right around the same time.
Yeah.
And what's the show that she was on most recently? It's a streaming show, I think, or Showtime show.
Oh no, she was on Walking Dead for a little bit.
Yeah, and there's another one. It's a person's name. Is the name of the show, and I don't watch it, so I don't remember. If somebody in the chat room remembers, but it took her a long time. I know that Marina Sirtis has had a very long period of time where she wasn't getting any work because, and that's the other thing. It's hard for women too because especially if you're typecast as the tits and ass, really. If you're typecast as she got the role because of her tits and ass, and that's what she was plugged in as. She was there for the bodysuit. To be able to cross over into another role as a woman is very difficult because how you're cast as a woman is very different in Hollywood.
And there
So
was
for her,
also,
you have
go
to
ahead.
age. You either
Chase Masterson.
Chase Masterson. Oh
You
my god.
know, there was a member of the Next Generation crew who was a big star, and when they left Next Generation, uh, had some real difficulty. Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
But that's also because the child actor thing.
Yeah, that's a
And then
double layered thing.
he was I think, like a lot of our audience that's in there right now that I don't think they realize how huge Stand By Me was.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was huge. And he was a huge child actor, and he went on, and poor writing served him extremely poor on Next Generation, not knowing, not writing that character well at all. I always felt for him that people blamed him. He didn't write it, he just said the words.
Right.
And then of course he leaves Next Gen, and now he's late teens by that point, and there's no roles in that area, because even when they're doing a teen show, they're casting 20 somethings as the teens.
Right. But even still, I mean, it wasn't like he left the Next Generation, and when he was out of the Next Generation, it wasn't like there was cable, Disney Channel,
Right.
plethora of mid-teen shows or early or young adult shows. There was no freeform. There was no cable channel to fill up that he probably could have gotten work had it been 20
Had
years
that
later.
been now, he would have been in a
Yeah.
far better position than it was then.
I agree. And it does. It sucks. I mean, now dear, where the fuck did that word come from?
Dear? Let's
I
all
don't know.
just ponder on that one for a moment.
It's a far different realm, so to speak, of work that's available for
Yeah.
the actors with the expanding cable and streaming service and even web series.
I was just going to say, and with the web, because he kind of reinvented himself on the web. Not reinvented himself, but
No,
he was able to
he
present
outed himself as a better
he was able to present himself.
right.
And
And
then
he
Big
did
Bang
so
Theory
by right.
did a really great job with evil Will Wheaton and all of that. But like, I love Tabletop. I absolutely love Tabletop. And
Well,
that's
he
not
definitely
acting,
found a
but
niche and
yeah.
a niche. And Geek and Sundry is a fantastic
Mhm.
representation of a production company, a web production company. It's probably one of the top 3 out there. And they're producing some really great stuff that finds its audience, right? And they found a geek audience, but specifically with regards to the gamers, the tabletop
Yeah.
gamers, and not necessarily the video gamers, but the tabletop gamers.
Now,
Now,
okay.
Hold
I
on,
gotta
Mike.
tell you.
Go ahead. No, I want to hear Mike.
No, I said okay.
We've been talking about typecasting and stuff and how that could be a problem, but then you have people like Felicia Day who their typecast is their brand. They established this brand for
That's an interesting
themselves,
take.
and that is
But she wasn't a
what has.
professional actress.
But she became an actress because of the way she portrayed herself. She built this brand of being geek girl, and she, as a result of being this character, she has found work as an actress.
Right, and that's a product of, like Terry was saying, this time with the web and all of that. If that was 20 years earlier, never would have happened.
Of course, the
Yeah.
web is is this. I don't want to say it's a great equalizer, but it definitely has shaken up
It's a far larger palette.
That actually, I think it's both. I think both of you are right. It's a far larger palette, but it allows for a multitude of artists and a freedom of expression that isn't bound by a corporate mentality that's plugged into 13 channels anymore.
And you see that with musicians too. The web has introduced people to a ton of bands or singers or whatever that no label back in the 60s, 70s, well, not 60s so much, but 70s or 80s would have never looked at. The major labels still to this day is, oh, what's on the charts? We have to recreate that instead of looking for something new. Nirvana broke the mold because it grabbed the attention of people, and people kind of forced
I don't know
Nirvana.
if I agree.
Oh, yeah,
Not
the
not not
music
not not
industry.
not regards to Nirvana, but I think about music today. I mean, a lot of it, it's all algorithms and based on what they know people are going to
Mike,
like.
that's exactly what the 70s were as well, in the 80s. You have
Yeah,
to
that much really hasn't changed.
it, it
Bubblegum is still bubblegum.
you have to look it, about every 20 years there's some kind of shift. In the 70s it was punk. In the 90s it was grunge. We're coming up due because it's weird because music starts to slide, popular music. Now you had heavy metal, the hair bands and all that, but what happens is it starts to slide into the producer's medium, the record producer, and overdubbing and all of that, and then boom, grunge came along, Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and took it back. And we're getting to that point again where, you know, my wife and I have vastly different music tastes, and sometimes I have trouble telling one song from the next, from the new stuff coming out, because it all has the same processed feel to it to me. But then you get a song like the Rihanna song, that's a big hit right now. That sounds like a Supreme song. It's beautiful, and that gives me hope. But music goes through these weird transitions. But the internet allows bands to to put
Well,
themselves out
self-produce.
there
Yeah.
far more. Yeah, self-produce, where no record label would have ever taken them before.
I think you're both right. I think you're both right. I think that as far as the commercial music, i.e., and commercial entertainment, has always dealt with this corporate no risk or risk averse mentality, right? Whether or not they're producing film or television or music, it's what does the major market want? And so they produce something that's non-offensive, easy, risk-free, and they produce it for the mass market because that's what has always sold. The change has been with the way that we consume now.
Yeah, distribution.
It's how are we receiving and want to receive our entertainment. And we now get to say, you know what? I watch I watch so little TV anymore, you guys. I really
Mm-hmm.
do. I watch sports because that's what's different. And everything else is what I find to be my choice for entertainment. And that's gaming and kind of the geek avenue of stuff, which I can't get from television. I can only get it from the internet. So I tend to watch Geek and Sundry, or I play my games, or I read novels that are specific to my interests. So I no longer am part of the mass market. I'm out of it.
I
I do. I think I'm out of it. I really don't think that that I'm ever going to be perceived as, and you know what's so weird is that even 20 years ago, a 52-year-old woman was always the median for the mass market.
Mhm.
You always sold for the 50-year-old woman or the 10 or the 14-year-old boy. That's how your two mass markets were.
That's why Jackie Collins novels sold so well.
And there was an assumption that all 52-year-old
Right.
women were soap opera watchers
Yeah.
or at home or whatever. And now mass market entertainment doesn't know how to deal with 52-year-old women like us or like me. And that is, oh, what do you mean you don't watch soap operas? What do you mean you have a career and you travel? And what do you mean, we can't peg you anymore? What's going on, woman? Why aren't you watching our shows?
And even like
because they don't interest me.
the 18 to 24 crowd that you were talking about, it's so much more diverse now than it was.
Agreed.
Because you don't have 3 channels. You now have 3,000 channels if you count the web.
So looking at it from that point of view and and if you are in charge, and here's the if you are in charge of CBS and and you can foresee the changing market for entertainment and the changing distribution models for entertainment, and you own an IP like Star Trek, how do you get it in front of as many people as possible, knowing that it's a niche genre? It's a niche genre.
Mhm.
You put it in front of the niche genre, the people who are willing to pay for streaming services, and you make it an anchor show, which is
Mhm.
exactly what they're doing. And so for those of you who are upset because it's not on free network television, think really, 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 really hard. How much free television are you really watching?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if you're not, and
by that,
if you're subscribing to Netflix or you're subscribing to Hulu or anything like that, you are the market that CBS wants. And believe it or not, you're going to be, and if you really want to watch the show, you're going to pay your $6 a month.
And taking what Terry just said there, what are you really watching? And take sports out of the equation.
Yep.
Now, I know a lot of people go, I don't watch sports. Yeah, well, that also feeds the geek stereotype. Oh, no, sports ball, I don't know. Please, stop it.
I mean, it's why. Yeah, see, Robert Reyes says he stopped watching that
I
kind
have
of television.
2 shows. One, I make no bones about that. I have to watch Supergirl live just because I love that show and because she's my next wife.
Okay,
And
so what would
the
you
other
do if they
one,
moved it to CBS All Access?
I'd get it anyway.
Right.
The other show, believe it or not, Lucifer. And that show my wife got me hooked on. I hadn't actually watched it, even though that Lucifer Morningstar is from the Sandman, and then he had his own comic book or whatever. But this season that just wrapped up, oh my God, it was amazing. Trisha Helfer was on it. She was unbelievable, and it's just it's funny, it's intense, it's so good. And Fox, to their credit, has done it well.
And who's it produced by?
It's on the Fox network.
Okay, I wasn't
Hold
sure.
on.
Mike, you are also a unique market. You do
Okay.
watch a lot of television. You're one of the few people I know that can watch television and play games at the same time.
I it's one of those. I have my TV on all the time in the background while I work on whatever. Yes.
Terry, it's actually, that's right, I forgot. Jerry Bruckheimer Television, DC Entertainment and Aggressive Mediocrity. So it's DC and Jerry Bruckheimer.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, Mike, you're definitely somebody who confuses the algorithms.
Yay!
It's true. If you guys have ever seen Mike when he's kind of plugged, he is literally, not literally, but almost literally plugged in. I mean, the
By the
guy
way,
has.
there's
got,
our
like,
title this week: confusing the algorithm.
I got like 3 screens in front of me, and everything is going on. All of them are doing something different. Yes.
And so you're one of the few people I would say you watch. Absolutely, you watch network television.
I do watch a lot of. I watch a lot of television in general, just because it's usually on in the background. But yeah, I do follow a lot of shows. Yeah, all this is true.
He follows a lot of shows, you guys. I mean, you're like the savant of television right now. And you also play games. So he's playing timelines at the same time as he's watching TV, and he kind of monitors both, and he still absolutely absorbs everything that's going on. It's not like he's ignoring everything. He's totally he's just you're on fire. It's awesome.
Well, I don't know. It just having the distraction, you know, my focus will shift from one to another as important things happen, or as the need, for attention, is required. Because sadly, in a lot of things, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of moments where, I don't have my attention does not need to be there. So
Right.
that's when I shift it to something else. And then when, you can usually tell when something's going to happen. It either gets all of a sudden gets very quiet, or it gets very loud, or there's usually something that will draw the attention back. And that's where, so I'm hopping from one screen to the next, as the attention requires. Some games it's easier to look away from, like Timelines and the Transformers and some of the other things that I play. So I'm able to look away when something else draws my attention.
Like an ad?
Well,
No, I mean like TV though. If you're watching over-the-air TV, you've got in a 16-minute show only 42 minutes of content.
that's true, yes, and I usually don't pay attention to.
I think that's it, Mike. I think that, let's say when you were at my house or something and you had Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. On
Katie Lovitz.
He's watching that, but he's also playing Timelines. And I think that what happens is okay, an ad comes up, his attention absolutely goes into Timelines.
Yep.
And in Timelines, when he's waiting for a shuttle to return and there's that downtime that's built into some of these games, he's watching Legends. His focus is on everything but the advertising.
I do the same thing with Marvel Future Fight. We'll be watching something and boom, commercial, okay. Do a couple of missions, boom, show's back on. And that's the sad part, is you have enough time to do missions.
It's true.
I mean, think of that. 18 minutes is taken up with ads. When Terry and I were young and Kajiro, it was only 10 minutes.
I think it were 46, 40. No, they were like 48 minutes. So I think it was 12 minutes of ads.
12 minutes.
And but
now
you're right.
A quarter of your program is taken up with ads.
And it's that's a unique thing. But here's the thing: is if we had the opportunity to direct our attention away from those ads by playing a game, we would be doing it too, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, or reading or whatever.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to read. I didn't. I watched ads.
I mean, even during the show, I'm playing 2 games and paying attention to the chat room and chiming in when I have something to contribute.
And then he wonders why he's tired.
Well,
the reason why I'm tired is because I was staying up way too late watching Orange is the New Black.
I'm doing that lately, but it's been with documentaries. Very, occasionally. Like I watched The Longest Day on June 6th instead of a documentary. But you
Right.
have to. I mean, come on. But yeah, I'm watching right now. I'm watching a documentary series on Hulu. It's not a documentary; it's a TV series about record producers and what they actually do. So very heavy on George Martin because he broke so many of the rules. And if you don't know who George Martin is and you're listening to the show, look him up because I'm looking at you with disgust right now. But they talked about Sly and the Family Stone and all kinds of awesome stuff.
Well, kind of getting back to the whole typecasting.
Adam West dying led us
Well,
through all of
it
this.
started off with Adam West dying, but really, as I'm going through the links to make sure that we talk about some of the things that Michael actually did the hard work to put together for us for this week's show, I came across the
Which
link
I did between playing games and watching television.
Nice.
I believe it. There's a great article in here about Alexander Siddig to play Batman villain Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, that's for Gotham, by the way. So this season of Gotham pretty much, sorry, spoiler alert, ended with the Bruce Wayne character. He's still a young kid. I mean, he's like maybe 15, 16 years old, but deciding that he's going to be Batman. So
Thanks for ruining the series for me, Mike.
Sorry. but so here I said spoiler. So now we've seen all of the various villains in their early incarnations, and now things are starting to get really ramped up, and so they're going to introduce
and that's
Ra's
a show
al
that
Ghul.
has lasted a lot longer than I thought it would.
Which one? Orphan Black?
Gotham. I didn't think people would accept just like Star Trek geeks, the comic booky, in continuity. Look, they've created their own series, and what they've done is stellar. And I think
really
a huge
good.
part of it is, of course, the writing and the acting are really great. And you had a breakout character with a breakout actor with Robin Lord Taylor as Cobblepot, the Penguin.
There's a lot of great actors and actresses in this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised at how well the cast does.
And
I believe almost every single one of them that they are who they say they are.
This is going
really
to cause
well
Terry's hair to burn, but kudos to Fox for sticking with it.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
And just like they have with Lucifer.
The production design on this, I mean, that was one of the things that was harder for me to get used to. I mean, the look. It's dark. It's almost has this like 1950 modern.
Well, it's got a noir look to it. But it's got this like 1950s modern version of 1950s because everyone's got cell phones and but it's got this 1950s type of vibe to it, and it's unique.
Really, yes, it's very unique, but it's a universe all of its own, and I really, really enjoy it. And yeah,
and to be honest with you, I loved the first 3 episodes, but it was after the 3rd episode that I knew that I couldn't continue. Right. And again, it just had everything to do with the level of violence in it for me, and I had to.
Not every episode is like that, but yeah, there are occasional episodes that they really push the envelope in terms of violence. Or
you love football, which is all about violence, and that's real. It's not even make believe. Hey,
okay.
Bye, Robert.
Wait. Okay, here's the thing about football. Number 1, oh my God, yes, it's violent. Number 2, ask Alan what happens, what I do when there is an especially hard hit.
Or
I
that
get up and I walk.
when
I get up and I walk out.
I saw
get up
this
and I-
You're such a
during the
woman.
Kentucky Derby. I saw this
Oh,
during the
you did, didn't you?
Yes,
oh my
I
God, I
did.
was so upset.
She got up, left the room, and would not
Why?
come back in
Well, was
until
there a
we changed
gunfight at the Kentucky Derby
until we
that I
changed the
missed?
channel.
No, there was okay. So the Kentucky Derby goes off, right? So the bell goes off, and the
Mhm.
horse that's on the rail starts to buck. Right? It pulls back and it starts to buck. It was like a traumatic thing for me because all I could think of was,
They're going to put
oh
the
my
horse
God,
down.
the horse broke down. The horse broke down, and they're gonna have to put it down on the track. I can't. I had to get up and walk out.
Okay,
I was
I
so
got
upset.
Terry, you're gonna laugh, but I gotta tell you something. I've been
Oh,
to
dude,
the horse races once.
don't. And they did, and they had to do that.
No.
Ugh.
The horse that I bet on died on the track.
See, I can't even handle. I can't even handle that.
But
So I
you
just
know,
like I don't like
so
to watch
I'm
horse
like,
races
well, I
anymore.
put my
I
money
just
for
don't.
win, show, and die. Come on. So I haven't gone back since, just
Yeah,
because I
I
was like,
just
this is not for me. I'm
I
putting
can't.
money and it died.
I just couldn't. So yeah, Mike was there. Alan is
And I
true.
love horses,
If
so
there is an especially hard hit in football, I will get up and walk out because I don't want to watch the rerun of the injury. Joe
yeah.
Theismann did that to me.
Oh, well,
So
that was. And
no,
you know the
that's what
funny,
that I'm
you know
just
the
I
funny
can't do it.
part? That was the most unintentional hit ever.
But it's the injury. I
And people
can't do
that
it.
don't
I can't
know,
do it.
just look it up because we cannot describe to you what happened.
I
We'll
can't.
just say that his legs snapped in half.
It was, oh my God. And I've seen it. So
Lawrence Taylor threw up in his own helmet.
there are and I have to say I don't watch a lot of football anymore. I sit in another room and I will listen to it, but I don't watch
How about
it.
hockey? Do you still watch hockey?
I do. I still watch hockey. The pads help there. There was an especially rough
basically, you're
boarding
down to
call.
baseball
There
and
was an
curling.
especially rough boarding call during the Pittsburgh game that I really got upset with.
Oh, I
and
saw that one. The
Oh my
Sidney
God, I was
Crosby
so
one?
pissed.
So you're down to curling and baseball
Yeah, pretty much.
and golf.
And golf.
Speaking of golf, sometimes we talk
Oh,
about. Oh, Tiger.
God. That's all you needed to say. We will move on.
But speaking of typecasting, and watch how I do this, kids.
Okay.
Watch how a professional does
This
this.
is hilarious.
Golf screwed itself because when Tiger was the king, it was all about Tiger, and they didn't concentrate on any of the other golfers. Once he started to have issues with his back and all, they had a precipitous decline because they failed as the PGA to highlight anyone but him. So if it was a Sunday and he wasn't up there in the top of the leaderboard, people stopped caring because it had been built that he was the be all end all. So by typecasting, what I'm saying is they didn't make new stars because they were banking everything on him. And it came back to bite them in the ass.
I don't necessarily disagree.
When you put, especially in sports, all your eggs in one person, all your money on one person, the shelf life is not that long.
Every shooting star fades out.
Mm-hmm. And then you wind up like certain television series where Good Times started out one way, but then they went with the dynamite and the catchphrases and everything, and that's why John Amos left. God, I love John Amos.
Oh my God. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's a interesting thing about but again, that's what happens when you're pushing for a mass market. Now, and
Happy Days was not about Fonzie when it started.
That's very true.
And
then
Ron Howard's a great example of someone who did not allow himself to be typecast.
oh, you don't think? What did he
went,
end up doing after that?
He purposely went to directing.
Well, that's what I was
Because
saying.
that
Is
was
that's
no, but
different.
that was
It's what
his
Jonathan
love.
Frakes did too, right?
Right, because that was his love.
Yeah.
He was burned out on acting.
Well, also for the fact that I really think it would have been very difficult for him to find another role.
Has Frakes done any movies lately directing? I know he does a shit ton of TV.
And
I think
I would,
that's his medium of choice.
well, I
You know
think
who?
it's
You
also
know
where
who
he
else
can
is a
get a
big
lot of
time
work.
TV director now?
Who?
Fred Savage
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
and Anson Williams.
He's been directing for a long time though.
He's very good too. Well, he learned from the best. He learned from Jerry Paris, and you know the crews from the '60s that were doing Happy Days and all of that in the '70s.
I think Jonathan Frakes would love to do a film, but the fact of the matter is, you think that competition is hard in television.
Oh my God.
To doing it, there are so few films being made in comparison to the way it used to be.
Well, and in speaking about typecasting, for
now
Star Trek,
yeah,
Star Trek has been a great tool because the series, with the exception of Enterprise, the new series, I'm not talking about TOS, because Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager all lasted 7 years. Members of those crews were able to learn how to direct and begin directing. Roxanne Dawson, a whole bunch of people that have gone on to be kind of in demand directors because they understand how television direction works, the difference from film direction, and they've gone on to second careers behind the camera.
Yeah,
which is a great thing.
I do know that Jonathan Frakes is working well on a few different shows right now. He still does Librarians.
I need to watch that. Someone recommended that to me.
Yeah, he has a really good relationship with the producer on that, and always has. And so he does a lot of those. He does a lot of
Plus, they're fun.
NCIS. He does a lot of work on NCIS shows. So,
oh, does he really?
Yeah, he does NCIS LA and a couple of others. And
well, television is the medium he was trained on, so
right.
he knows it inside and out.
Was he a soap opera guy?
He was a miniseries guy.
Oh, okay.
He did a little bit of soap opera, yes, but he actually came to LA and he started getting some work in like Columbo, the guest star role, right? Where he always played the criminal of the week.
I saw him. Are you ready, Terry?
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. I got this hair up my ass this week and I was looking up Quincy.
Yeah, he did Quincy.
He did Quincy.
And then he became like a
heavy, right?
He became a heavy in the miniseries. So North and South.
Okay.
He did North and South, and he did a lot of those, and that's when he got the role on Star Trek. Was right after that, and then became a director, and he's kind of been doing that ever since, and very successful.
Roxanne Dawson's done a lot of directing.
Yep.
Anybody else? Because I know a bunch of people. Patrick Stewart directed some Star Trek. Am I right? Or did he never do it?
I don't think he ever did it, but I don't know.
He may have
I think
one.
I think acting is for Stewart. Acting is where
enough.
Is where his heart is.
If there's ever a time that anybody questions whether or not Jonathan Frakes knows how to direct, all you have to do is watch the scene between Picard and Lily.
Yeah.
In First Contact, in the ready room, or in the
well, that scene, and I also think the one in the bar where Cockrum is toasted or blended, and Troy is, shit to the wind.
Steve, were you going to say something?
Yeah.
I was going to say Patrick Stewart was an associate producer for Star Trek Insurrection, but he was also down as the director for, I think it was 5 episodes of Next Gen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought he did some. I wasn't.
Yeah.
He was the director for Preemptive Strike, Phantasms, A Fistful of Datas, Hero Worship, and In Theory.
A Fistful of Data is still one of my favorite episodes. I love it so
And
much.
In Theory was a good one.
That's the one where Barclay and the machine, right?
No, In Theory's the one where Data gets the girlfriend.
Okay. I'm thinking not Nth Degree is the one with Barclay and...
Yeah.
No, In Theory's the one with the crew member who falls in love with Data, and there's like that great scene where they're 10 forward and Keiko and O'Brien, and she's talking about O'Brien leaving his socks everywhere. And
I do hope. I will admit, I do hope that we'll see some familiar directorial names in Discovery.
yeah,
I'm crossing my fingers.
especially from people that, because they understand the franchise.
I sincerely hope that every
Okay. Since we're on the subject, and we just kind of crossed the stream here, that photo that
I'm hoping
Frakes had tweeted. Now, I believe now that it was for Seth MacFarlane's show rather than Discovery.
It's probably true. It's, you know what? And there is another show that Frakes would be a fantastic director on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, yeah, you're probably right.
The Orville.
That was probably on the set of the Orville, which would make more sense considering its stylistic integrity on that, and how Seth MacFarlane really wanted to move forward at looking like a next gen Voyager DS9 type show with physical models and everything. He's gonna rely on the people who know how to direct that shit. So I am wholeheartedly convinced that was from the set of Seth MacFarlane's show and not Discovery.
At the time, we were thinking, could it be? But then Orville surprised us, and
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's has since made the connection, but I think now it's pretty obvious that it was the.
I'm with you 100%. I think that was from that set and not from Discovery, but it doesn't break my heart. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking that's going to be a runaway hit. I really think it's going to be a runaway hit.
I'm definitely. I mean, 2 shows that I'm definitely looking forward to this fall is the Orville and Discovery. I don't think they're going to disappoint. I don't think either one of them is going to disappoint. I just hope
you're right.
that the various studios allow us to enjoy it. That's my big hope.
Some of the links as we wrap up the show for today, some of the links that we did not get to touch on. So please make sure that you return to the G&T show website and also like our Facebook page and share. Some of the product news that came out, a men's chronograph watch, a Live Long and Prosper watch was released. A interesting article on Diamond Select's Star Trek 3 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which is, I know, it's like this glowing orange thing.
It's from Star Trek 3. It's the Enterprise being destroyed. It just seems like an odd choice, though, doesn't it?
It is an odd choice. It's a very odd choice, but I don't know. In all of the things that Star Trek exclusive should have been this year, it should have been for fucking Next Gen because it's their 30th anniversary.
I agree with that.
They went with Search for Spock. Go fig.
CBS licensing, they've signed a new deal with Pocket Starships. I'm not sure what that company does, but Looks like we'll be getting some new ship miniatures out of it, so that's
Very
cool.
cool.
The
You
next
can never have
generation,
too many.
yes, very true. You cannot. The next generation Bluetooth combat. There was a unboxing video I came across. I thought that was kind of cool. So the Bluetooth com badge on it's kind of exciting. And the Pride T-shirts. I think those are pretty sweet. They come in TOS, TNG, and Voyager. So I thought that was cool.
Very cool. These are available at StarTrek.com under their apparels and accessories. Very, very cool. Deltas, rainbow deltas, which are awesome. So check them out. They're very cool. Convention. I know I'm doing Superman music. Go fig. Yes, there was a 2 cases of Legionnaire's disease in people who stayed at the Rio Hotel, which of course is going to be the site of the Star Trek Las Vegas convention in August. Talking about this with Alan when we first came across the news, is I don't know. They will be able to. They have to go in and clean the HVAC system, you guys, and it's a big project. I'm sure that it'll be fixed before August, and if anything, it means that the HVAC system will have been recently dealt with, which means it's probably going to be in really good shape by the time we get there.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Do you think if anyone has a concern that it might be a good idea to get like one of those either painter masks or one of those I don't know
well, to be honest with you, I think anytime you're in a large group of people like that, whether it be a cruise or in a hotel, when you're around thousands of people and you're sharing handles and doorknobs and shaking hands and hugging and, if you're in a big group like that, it doesn't matter. You're always at risk.
Yeah, if you go to San
some
Diego
kind of a bug.
Comic-Con, you're way more likely to pick something up. I mean, look how easily the con crud spreads. And that's like Terry said, just because people touching doorknobs and handles and railings and all of that.
I've been lucky. Every convention I've gone to so far, I've not really gotten the crud, but
That's because
also,
the tobacco kills the germs.
I also take antibiotics because of my legs and my issues. So I'm always on antibiotics during con season, and I do use hand sanitizer often. But yeah, I was just wondering, if
even though Legionnaires is an airborne condition.
I'd read about it a little bit after this article came out.
Mike, it'll never make it through your beard. Don't worry.
But it's moisture, little particles of moisture. So there's always, I don't know.
Yeah, anytime somebody sneezes, right?
Ew.
Or coughs.
That's how Penny got Sheldon sick, and she couldn't go to Switzerland.
Soft kitty warm. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you need to wear the surgical mask.
Okay.
Then everybody will think you're Asian, and
I was just curious. I mean,
it's also how do I say it? Our culture isn't one of those cultures that says, "Oh, throw an air mask on," and we do tend to look funny at people who do. But there are other cultures that absolutely, it's par for the course as you wear an air mask.
You walk around in
transit.
Korea.
Right.
When I was in Korea, oh my God. But that's a place where we would do our daily run, and then literally you'd be spitting up black for the rest of the day.
Yeah, isn't their air quality like horrendous?
Exactly.
But you go to New York City or Chicago or places like that, and you see people doing it. So, it's. I think it like Terry's right, but it's also, it depends on where you are. Like out here in farmland where I am, you're not going to see it. But if you go into a big metropolitan area, you'll see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you will, especially in mass transit.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people wearing masks in trains. But that's just because they might be sensitive to it too. You never
People
know.
might have asthma. They might have
Yeah.
COPD. So
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of different stuff.
So yay there. What other news? The good news is that the documentary about Leonard Nimoy is going to be airing nationwide. It was just released to I think the Philadelphia, New York area at first, Mike. And now it looks like it's going to be aired nationwide. So we'll have that link.
So
on
will it be
PBS, I
eligible
believe.
for? Will it be an Emmy or an Academy for documentary?
I don't know if it was released to a theatrical release. I think it was it was
Television?
PBS, so it's television. So it's
So it'd
probably
be an Emmy.
bound, yeah.
Roller coaster fans, Operation Enterprise has debuted in Germany.
I saw those pictures.
There's even a walkthrough video where they take you through, and it looks pretty awesome. So yeah, if you're in Germany, or if you're a fan of roller coasters, there's a new Trek one in Germany that you may want to check out. And the last one I want to discuss. Where did it go? Oh, the high value Star Trek trading cards were stolen from a house in Derby, and the police have taken to Facebook to try to get to crowdsource assistance in trying to locate them. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's kind of cool.
But
and talk about knowing your market.
Boy,
Yeah,
the Brits want to talk about us. We don't have people stealing trading cards.
Yeah, we do.
There were thousands of them, and there were.
I was taking a dig at Steve.
Apparently, there were some really valuable ones. Although I'm not, I don't understand the trading card market, so I don't quite understand.
I wish
how
I
that
still
is,
had
but
my trading cards from TOS when I was a kid, or the motion picture ones I had.
Wow.
So yeah,
Are those.
And for those of you who were a little disappointed in the price of the Star Trek Adventures RPG package, it was like this big Borg set, which was like $500, which
it was like $599 for the US version. But then the next day they came out with the Borg drone pack.
Yeah,
it was $325 still.
Oh, that's all.
Which is still a little pricey for me.
Yeah.
But
rent or the drone pack?
I know,
right?
Really. So,
but the packages are beautiful.
Oh, they are. So I'm definitely going to pick something up, but I'm probably going to have to save up in order to do it. So I'm not pre-ordering, but I'm definitely going to be picking some stuff up.
Speaking of role playing, do we have a game this week?
Something is happening this week
with the Star Trek one.
I'm not sure if it's Trek or not. I haven't not heard for sure.
Okay. Terry, are you traveling this week?
I am not. I'm at home.
Yay!
And speaking of card and card games, we also want to extend our congratulations to all of our friends over at Cryptic Studios and Perfect World Entertainment from the announcement that they are going to be developing a Magic the Gathering AAA MMORPG. So
I think it's already been developed.
The
release is coming, isn't it?
No, they have announced that it's in development. It's just now starting.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's just now starting.
Wow, I figured because didn't they have like screenshots and other stuff?
It's not done. I've been told by more than one person it's not done.
Okay, but they've been working on it in secret for a while, apparently.
It's probably one of those secret projects that we've always heard about. And
you mean that a real NDA would cover, not a fake NDA from a fan film?
Exactly. But congratulations to everybody over at Cryptic. That's great news. I'm actually looking forward to trying it out. I do not know much about Magic the Gathering, so it'll be an interesting. I do understand that there's a lot of lore behind it.
Basically, it's magic, and people gather.
You lie.
Just saying.
So kind of. Who's yelling at me?
It's like Uno, but with magic.
Okay.
Else.
And
I don't know.
apparently because it's the end of the how many minutes long is it, Steve?
26.
It's a Star Trek number. Well, it's 2 minutes and 47 seconds.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Well, go ahead and play it. I'll sit back.
I'll take a nap.
Hey guys, Ross here from Live Love Play with a new content update. It is 12:03 a.m. Sunday morning, June 11th. I had a couple big milestones this week that I'm excited to share with you guys.
Could you shut up?
1 year ago, liveloveplay.com was registered and website development began. I have been releasing weekly content on that site for an entire year now. Wow. Terry,
Boring.
Mike, and to a lesser extent Nick, I've been doing something I love because of you guys. Twice in my
Congratulations.
life, the three of you have essentially saved me. Thank you.
Ugh.
8 new Patreon patrons have pledged in the last 2 months. Their combined contributions allow me to take out a monthly ad campaign on Facebook and drive more readers and viewers to my site. I'm grateful to all of my patrons for your support. If this growth keeps going, I'll need to add a new incentive tier to my Patreon. Perhaps a physical reward. Who knows? Getting Lost in Space Episode 2, No Place to Hide Part 2, is live for my patrons. Getting Lost in Space is a retrospective discussion about the classic TV show that inspired a generation. The show is hosted by me and Mark Cushman, author of These Are the Voyages and Irwin Allen's Lost in Space. Gods of Yukon, Episode 5, The Plague Doctor, is also available early to my patrons, with its public release coming soon. Episode 6, Consequences, will be released shortly after. If you want to see it first, pledge on Patreon today. I live stream 3 times a week on twitch.tv/subsailor688, Monday and Thursday at 3, Saturday at 5. So come join me and enjoy the game and the company. I play something different each day, so expect a variety. I reached over 80 followers last night. Wow.
Hey.
At this
Right
rate,
on.
I should be reaching affiliate soon. I hope so. In addition to my live broadcasts, you'll find my entire library of live stream highlights, as well as archive broadcasts and exclusive uploads. The archives only last for 2 months, so watch them before they're gone. This week on iLiveLovePlay.com, you'll find my review for Pokemon Rusty, a parody short web series produced by Dorkly, spoofing the classic Nintendo game. I repost all of my content over Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, VidMe, Patreon, and Twitch, so look me up and enjoy. Thank you for listening, and special thanks to the host of the GNT show for your patronage and support. This is Ross, saying thanks again, and until next time, remember to live, to love, and to play every day.
Every day.
Bitches.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Want to
you,
say
Ross.
congratulations to Ross and to Live Love Play on your 1-year anniversary. I got the bill for your website re-registration. So yay.
He's billing you?
We are his production company, sweetheart.
I knew that.
and
No, that's very good. Ross, that's very good. And I don't control the sound clips, people, so stop sending me messages.
a
Believe me,
miles-
if I controlled the sound clips, there'd be a whole lot more during this show.
Oh boy. And one of the things that we are kind of working on in the background is for Live Love Play is a guest stream. I'm working with that with the kids, and we're looking forward to it.
I had like a
kids
45-second
are
guest
excited.
stream before the show. Whew.
Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's kind of going to do it for today's show. Don't forget all of the links, even the ones that we did not discuss in today's show, will be available on our website after the show goes live and after Mike has an opportunity to take a nap and relax. Right, Mike?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Mike and
good.
I did a supplemental log this week.
Yes, we did. It'll be.
Oh, very cool.
I have
Oh,
not,
I know who you're. Mike Schilling, right?
Yes,
Yep.
we have not. I have not edited. I'm hoping to get that done probably Tuesday. Monday's my birthday, so I'm probably not. Or
You're taking tomorrow off.
yeah, I'm probably gonna take tomorrow and just enjoy
Did
the
you
day.
sign his vacation slip? Because I didn't.
I did actually.
Okay.
I actually forced it on him.
All right. Just making sure.
Yay, Mikey. And happy birthday to Soredian.
Thank
We
you.
love you.
What are you?
I have
Are you
gray beard.
49 this week?
41.
41. Sorry.
And I found gray hairs in my beard. I mean,
Stop
I
it.
may have some on my head, but my hair is so thick I couldn't find them if I tried looking for them. But because it's on my beard, it's a little more in my face.
Literally.
Literally. So I was able to see it, and I counted 3 of them. So I feel old now. Yay.
Well, happy birthday, sweetheart.
Yeah, but gray hair is not a function of old. Gray hair actually comes from like a lack of sleep is one of the reasons.
Oh, really?
Is that why I found my first gray hair on my 22nd birthday?
Why do you think, and I'm not even joking, stress and lack of sleep? Look at presidents when they start their terms,
Yeah,
and
no
then
shit,
look at them
right?
at the end.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's true.
That explains why I start again. I'm at 11.
Yeah, and that's why, like in World War II, a lot of guys were 19 and they came home with gray hair.
Yeah, I believe it. Alrighty. On that note, wake up with gray hair. Don't call us, okay?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
actually kind of,
Are you digging it?
Yeah.
You
I
should.
can't wait for the more distinguished look,
Your
Be
beard
proud, man.
gray will be really awesome, actually.
I think so too. So I'm
You
looking
look like
forward
Rick
to it.
Rubin long enough.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
Hold on, I'll put him in the chat room.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah,
He's a record producer. He did the Beastie Boys and stuff, and Johnny
Okay.
Cash and all Metallica and all kinds of things.
Oh, too funny.
Well, like I said, I'm kind of looking forward to it, and so yeah.
Why was there? Oh, yeah. I don't remember. I was going to say something to Cushy today, and I don't remember what it was, but I love you, Cushy. And everybody in the chat room, it was great to see you here, and thank you so much for joining us. Until next week. Next week being, oh my God, the 18th is Father's Day. Are we having a show?
There you go, Mike. There's Rick Rubin.
I'm open for a
Looks like-
show. Oh,
He
cool.
looks like Patrick Rothfuss.
His hair isn't curly enough, but yeah, that's
true, too.
interesting.
But come on, you could play him in the movie.
Probably.
Nick, are you going to be joining us next week?
I will be at AwesomeCon on Saturday.
And Father's
don't
Day is
know.
the 18th.
Yeah, I don't know if my kids are coming, so I'll say tentatively yes, because
Okay.
I don't know.
Hold on. Casey, take this.
Oh, Casey wishing me. Oh, shit, girl.
Yeah, hold on. I'll throw it. Oh. Aye.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I just heard
Aye,
a bookshelf
there you
collapse.
Until next week in episode 283, at least Mike and I will be here. Please join us. And until then, live long and prosper.
Kapla.
Goodbye, everyone.
Remember to live, to love, and to just punch Ross in the head. I kid. Don't punch him in the head. That'll leave marks. Dolan True Bitches. GNT 282.
Music for the GNT show is provided by 5 Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Greth Thor. The GNT show is a BLB production.
Move ahead, warp factor 10. Turn it off! Put a mini skirt on Mayo Man. Represent the human race.
Oh, calm down, huh?
A happy place. To fully go where no man's gone before.
Boring.
I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community.
Could you shut up?
Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see.
You can't handle the truth.
Galaxy. wanna tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobayashi. I'm gonna travel to the end and make new friends with aliens. To boldly go where no man's gone before. Space happy. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero G community. To boldly go where no man's gone before. Space happy. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero G
Took my glasses.
community.
Take my glasses.
Did you look on your head?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.